The opening day of Marlies training camp here at the MasterCard Center for Hockey Excellence in Etobicoke, as the Marlies have very few spots up front and a lot of bodies trying to get to them. Two full squads today that took part in first a practice and then a scrimmage of 25-minute halves, and then a second practice that included most of the second group that actually ended up winning the scrimmage. Well, if you followed the draft picks of the Toronto Maple Leafs over the years, some familiar names here, including Jeremy Bracco and Adam Brooks, as the Toronto Marlies setting out here on their training camp, trying to find some spots for some people. They have always been able to pull just a few out of their training camp, as they handle it just a little bit differently than some NHL clubs, which essentially populate their AHL team with the cuts from their NHL team. And the Marlies handling things just a little bit differently, the entire organization actually, as they keep a lot of the folks that will end up as Toronto Marlies with them for a good long time during training camp in the NHL. And that allows the AHL team and the ECHL team in the organization to have a good look at some folks that they may find are diamonds in the rough. As far as some names that you might remember, some draft picks of the Maple Leafs here, Adam Brooks is in camp and hoping to make an impact here over the next week and over the weekend, as the Marlies have two games against the Rochester Americans, one in Rochester and then one in Buffalo. Also here, Jeremy Bracco, who is trying to make an impact here with this club as well. They've been here for a week at practice, but now that it's formal, it seems that the intensity is just a little bit higher. Jeremy, what do you feel like to get that first day out of the way?
Yeah, it's you learn a lot of guys' names, get to know each other, play with certain guys you haven't played with. So it's a little bit different, but it's a lot of fun and good first scrimmage.
Kind of an odd position to be in after spending so much time with some of the same guys and going through a year that you just had to come into a new situation.
Yeah, absolutely. You play with those guys for a while. You have a lot of practices with them, and you come into a scrimmage today. We're not playing with a guy for forever. So it's a little bit different, but guys clicked well early, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
What do you take away from the scrimmage?
There's a lot of good players here. It's going to be competitive again tomorrow, and it's fast, it's heavy, it's it's just a lot of fun to be here.
Mason, how'd that first day go?
It was good. It was fun. Nice to meet some new guys, and I had some guys that I played with in the Coast last year in Orlando up here, so it was nice to see them again and play with them. So,
how was that scrimmage? It looked like it started a bit slow and then picked up with some intensity.
Yeah, it was. I think some guys started throwing the body around, and some guys got a little into the game. So it was better later on, and I enjoyed it.
In the scrimmage, all the goaltenders got in action. Matt Hackett and Jake Hildebrand for Team Blue, and Cal Heater was then replaced by Mackenzie Skapski in the second half of that game. Picking up the goals for Team Blue, Vladimir Babalov and Samuel Lebrec. And for Team White, it was Christian Pospisil and then Alex Goodbranson, familiar name for Marlies fans. He tied the game up. The game-winning goal in overtime, 3-on-3, went to Mark McMillan.
I think in my 3 years here, I think it's one of the more talented groups that we've had at this point of camp. Obviously, we know with how the Leafs camp works out, a good chunk of people are still left there, but this camp, I think, moved better. The practices moved better. I thought the pace of the game was better. So that's a good sign of what's to come here, and then hopefully tomorrow's another good day, and we can transition on into the preseason.
It strikes me that there's a load of depth at just about every position here that you get to choose from, you and Drake Berehowski as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think the combination of what management has brought in here on AHL deals, as well as the guys Orlando assigned, I think that's obviously contributed to what what has resulted in some better pace and talent here. And then I think there's the free agent guys that have come in as well that showed well on day one. Tomorrow's another day. It's obviously a short camp for us. We're going to bring just a small group out to Rochester on Friday. So we have some decisions to make, but the decisions are good and healthy, and we're looking forward to another good day tomorrow.
Join us again all week as we will bringing you coverage from the Toronto Marlies training camp, and then into the weekend we'll be in Rochester and Buffalo to bring you those games as well.